Hello everybody and welcome back to another Hubby's Handyman Corner. Yes, it's me, the Hubby. And we are outside, a little hot. Just finished mowing the whole yard here, got all that done. Still got a little bit more work to do. But what we're here to do today is, boy, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. But you might have noticed I've got the nesting box right here. This is the Handyman Corner we put out just a couple days ago. We put this together. So that was, I'm assuming, probably the easy part. Now what I have over here on the ground is actual chicken coop. It's not one like I'm used to seeing. This one is aluminum poles and chicken wire with a top. I don't know what I'm getting myself into with this one. I haven't even read the instructions. We're just gonna get out here and make it happen. So first of all, I got some tools. I got my electric screwdriver, hammer. I got the Elisa Lynn toolbox right here. Of course, it's pink. Got a few things in there we might need if we need it. But we're gonna get started and see what we're getting into with this chicken pen. Seem to have a bag full of clasps, tools, and supplies. So let's get this open. All right, I'll tell you what. There's a piece of cardboard right here. I'm gonna lay this on the ground, dump this out. Oh, got some more gloves, and I told you about these in the last one. Call them sissy gloves. All right, we got some pieces, and look at that. They're nice enough to give us a number 12 and another number 14 wrench. So thank you, manufacturers, for that. We have here what appears to be a cloth top. I'm sure that's the roof. A bunch of poles, roll of chicken wire. Sorry y'all, I'm a little hot. This Gulf Coast, Mississippi weather, and we have an instruction booklet. We don't need this, but we're gonna go ahead and use it anyway. All right, looks like the first thing we're gonna have to do is lay out the bottom structure. All right, let's see here. Poles G, well, G's, E1s, E2s, and these. Okay, easy enough. First thing we're gonna get are these pieces here. They're flat on the bottom, so we know that these are the feet. This is what goes on the bottom. There's anchor holes right here to mount to the ground. We have a full bunch of them, probably 4 corners and 2 middle pieces. So we'll lay out the corners. I don't know how big this thing is, so I guess we'll find out. And these are the 2 pieces in the middle. All right, now what do we need? Number 1s. The side of the kennel, well, I should say kennel, it's a chicken coop. The side of the chicken coop is 2 number 1 pieces by 1 number 1 piece wide. So that means we should have 6 number 1s. Here's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So some of these had tape stuck to them. That'll be 1 wide, 1 wide, 2 across, 2 across. Hubby usually don't take off his hat, but it's hot out here, so we're gonna go hatless. My hair look good, y'all? Yeah. Losing more hair, I think. All right. So let's get this corner. Looks easy. Just snap and click. This corner. Snap and click. Same thing. All right, now we have 2 different sizes here. So let me see, it must be a different piece. It said number 1s. All right. That piece goes there. That piece goes there. I do like to try to lay out the pieces, match them up. It's in number 5. Consult the owner's manual. Okay, I see what it is. These pieces here go in the middle, like that. There. Match up to the corner. Get in there. All right. This piece here. There we go. It's coming together already. Stopping. Clean the sweat. It's 90-something degrees today. No breeze. No breeze at all. All right. Now we're looking for poles number 3. Those are going to be the first vertical poles. 3s. One in each corner. There we go. There we go. There we go. One more. Starting to come together. All right. Easy peasy. Now, we are going to go putting the top on, which takes curved pieces letter D, and V is our angles that gets everything started. So these are the angles. Go ahead and put these on here. There's 1, 2, this one would go here. Again, I try to shoot for getting this right on the first try. That doesn't seem right. Okay, I see what it is. Got to turn this 1 notch there. Multiple notches. They're trying to confuse the hubby. They're trying to confuse me. Then we have these angled pieces right here. Let's see here. Yeah. They try to confuse me. They ain't gonna win. They ain't gonna win. They ain't gonna win. All right. Piece is it? Ah. Basically the same thing. Like that. Again here. Got to make an adjustment. There we go. Sweating. Oh, little breeze right there. That breeze feels good. And there we go. All right. Take this, switch it over. There we go. There we go. I'll make a switch here, like that, and like that. So if there's a little bit of difference in one, it's easy to grab the wrong thing. There we go. That's how it's supposed to be. Y'all with me so far? Are we in frame? Let me check you out. Yeah, we doing good. Look at that. Put my ugly mug up there. All right, then there's 3 number 1s that connect all this together. Which are these? Right here, should be. Let's go here. Number 1. Like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put one down here at the end, keep in the middle. Ugh. I remember back in the day, we didn't build chicken coops like this. They were all wood, scrap wood you'd find around your farm or your property. Just some scrap wood and you can put together a really good chicken coop. But now, I guess this is the new way. Snap together, aluminum, ordered off the internet. All right, that's the basic structure right there. So now we're going to be constructing an end piece that will become the door. All righty, let's see here. A little bit difficult to read these instructions here, but let's get this box out of the way. I don't think we need this anymore, it's empty. Let's get it out of the way. Let's lay out these pieces. These are, let's see, 6. That's the top, bottom of the door frame, top of the door frame. These are the sides of the doors, of the door. One side and the other side. Yeah, they could have made this. Let me show you. Let me show you what I'm going off of. See this little picture? That's it. So definitely the instructions could be better than what they are, because like down here it's showing like it connects to the bottom, but it don't show what it connects with. So let's figure this out. It's these right here. Take this and put this in the trash pile. All right, hinges, that's for the roof. Pegs to hold the thing down, and I don't think this is going to work to hold them down. These are really like metal tiny tent stakes. As light as this is, you're going to need some substantial anchors. Those are not substantial to me. Again, we'll see what we got when we get there. All right. All righty. Let's see here. I am doing my best to try to figure this out here. First of all, we got to figure out how to get, saying that there's, these are supposed to come somewhere in the middle here. Let me pause for a second. I'm gonna try to decipher this because we're gonna sit here and fight over this instruction booklet. So give me just a second, I'll be right back. All right, y'all. It's me, the hubby, I'm back. Sorry I had to take that break. Had to kind of like lay this out a little bit and get the feel of it, because it's a It's a little bit different. Yeah, a little bit different, to say the least. This part snaps together real easy. This part you won't have no problem with. But the instructions to build this entryway, this doorway in the frame, are very, very vague. So, first thing, these two angle pieces right here, they have angles at the top. These snap together like this. This is what the rest of it should have done. But that's the last snap we're going to see. Because down here at the bottom, no snaps, no angles. We're going to have to put this piece down here together using these little brackets. So the way this works, Yep. Not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all. They don't even make the hole big enough. Let me see. Is there different sizes? So what you got is this thing right here. You got a hole right here. Gonna put this clip there. Put your screw down in there. This one's gonna go on the other side. I'm just gonna put the nut on just a little bit so I can open it up and get this pole in there. All right. Question to me, yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna lift it up about a 1/2 inch from the end of the pipe. Right there. Y'all, it's hot. All right, just a second, I'll show you what we got. Tighten these bolts up. You're gonna make sure these are tightened very good. Very good. You don't want any slipping where they get bent or crooked. All right, so this right here is your door frame that the door frame will sit in. So this is gonna sit like right in here, but we have to frame it up. Yeah, these are gonna go all the way up here like this. So what I've got to figure out, and again, this is an instruction manual problem. Doesn't give you measurements. So it shows the latch being on this side, so this pole doesn't have a latch. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this off, move it on this side of this middle beam, hang that right there. Now we're gonna do the same thing with this side. Let's see which side is up. All right, so you'll want this to flap down to lock into place. Again, the same thing. Going to put this little bracket here. So what you got now is a door frame. I'm gonna go ahead and put some clamps on the bottom, but leave them loose. So I'm gonna put this door up in there so I can move it. Because see, right now, we don't know if the door's gonna be this wide or this wide without putting it up in there. So I'm gonna leave that loose. I think that'll be very beneficial to leave loose. Now, one more setup of these bolts and clamps for the bottom. Gonna do the exact same thing. Again, these chicken coops like this are all over the internet. I see them on Amazon, I see them on Temu, all those Chinese places. But Amazon has these. And this to me is a good starter chicken coop. If you're just starting chickens, never had them before, don't want to put an arm and a leg into building a solid forever coop, and you want one that you can move around because this one is pretty light, this might be the chicken coop for you. All right, so now we have the door frame. This is the frame of the door. I think what I'm going to do now is go ahead and put the door on to kind of see where we're at. Now, these are door hinges. Let me get closer. These are the hinges. You want your pin down on the bottom and facing down on the top. That'll hold it in secure. I'll explain why when we get there. All right, latches on this side. You're gonna want your hinges on this side. I am thinking that the hinges are gonna take these bigger bolts. Yep. So we're gonna take the bottom hinge and we're gonna put it, get this clipped on there. Here on the bottom, get the bolt on. Get that bolt started. Now that's gonna be super loose. Now you might not understand why, but I'm gonna go ahead and put, this would be the top hinge. And I know I'm not up there yet, don't need to be. So I'm gonna put the top hinge, the peg facing downward. The bottom one, the peg's facing up. The top one facing down. You're gonna say why? And I understand that. So I'll show you as soon as we get there. So I'm gonna try to tighten this up a little bit. You're kind of just guesstimating. You don't need, the hinges don't need to be in a specific spot. Just one towards the top of the door, one at the bottom of the door. Far enough off the ground, of course. All right. And again, that's solid. This one, go ahead and tighten this down. You know we don't have the whole pull tight, so you're gonna have to hold it like that, and it does slide. Let me get 2 more of the bigger bolts and the bigger nuts. Here we go. Now we're gonna put the hinges on the door itself. Someone might have taught you a different way. This is the way I know how to do it. Put this clip on the bottom, get a bolt started. See if I can get this started. This one wants to be a little difficult. Yeah, let me take a break real quick. I'm gonna get a drink real quick and we'll be right back. All right, everybody, I'm back. Elisa Lynn was nice enough to bring me a glass of cold Southern style sweet tea made by Chef Hubby. That chef can cook sometimes. I'll tell you what, that tea's good, especially on a hot day like this. All right, where were we? Let's get back to this door frame. We need to get this figured out. All right, we're gonna get this one bolt started here. being difficult. So let's get a different one. There we go. We'll deal with the problem child when I get upstairs here. Now, basically, you want your hole that the peg fits in facing away from the middle of the door. And don't tighten this down all the way. You just want to get it tight enough where you can slide it. All right, like right there. I'm gonna stand up. That's gonna be your top one. Again, same thing. This bolt. I think I got a defective one. Let me see if there's another one in there, but I doubt there is. I doubt there is, but let me see. So, we're gonna deal with it. We're gonna make it work. Maybe after we get it going a little bit, it'll straighten itself back up. I think it's cross-threaded. All right. It'll go on, never coming off. There we go. It is sweaty. Again, you're going to want the hole the peg foot goes into facing away from the center of the door. That is a must. All right, put this door together. What you're going to do is get it in a frame where it would be and slide this piece here over that peg. I hope you can see that from there. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. This is going to have to be lifted up enough so that the door will move smoothly over the top. You got to keep it close enough where chickens can't get out underneath the bottom. So, looks like right about there. Now, this is why I said leave this loose at the top. Gonna slide this up. It'll go in the peg facing downward. Now, if you have a question why yet, because if you had both pegs facing upward, if you were to accidentally lift up on the door, it would come off the peg. So if you have one facing downward and one facing upward, you don't have that worry. It's gonna securely hold that door secure. And that's what we're going for, secure. Like I said, could have done a little bit better with their instructions. And I'm trying to keep everything as straight as possible. I think we're gonna have to maybe lift it up a tad bit. So what I'm gonna do is adjust the whole door. It's hitting the bottom of the chicken coop frame. So, well, I'll tell you what, let's get this straight here on the top and bottom. Now, could have probably got my iPhone out and made a level, but we're going to guesstimate. Say that's pretty good spot for it right there. I thought I had a level, but I don't. So we're going to guesstimate that is pretty level right in there. Now we're going to go ahead and tighten this down. Now the trick is, guys, there's a lot of guesswork in this. But never let your ladies know that you're guessing or that you're trying to figure it out in your head. The answer is, oh, I got it. Under control, I know what I'm doing. That's what they want to hear. Probably ain't gonna believe us anyway, but that's what you say. Now I'm gonna make sure that this is tightened down pretty tight so that this frame piece does not move. Which I think we're getting there. All right. Again, this piece is not tightened down yet, so I'm gonna leave that off. What I'm trying to do now is raise the door so it's not hitting that pole on the bottom. We don't want it hitting that pole on the bottom. How we doing here? Temperature good. You can see what we got going on. Yeah, so I'm gonna loosen this right here just a little bit so that it will flow smoothly. And I'm gonna loosen this one a little bit. And we are going to shimmy this up. Loosen it up a little bit more. Gonna move this up. Let me get the hammer. This is the go-to, guys. When things don't want to cooperate, get the hammer. I think right about there. I'm gonna go up just a little bit more. See, now that's swinging freely. It's not striking the bottom of the chicken coop frame. That's what you want. And you don't want too much of a gap right here where the chickens can get out. All right, that's fastened at the bottom. Let's fasten this at the top. There we go. Now, tighten this down all the way now. All right, that is tightened so much it's bending the aluminum frame, so probably over tightened, but I'd rather be that tight than not tight at all where it slips. All right, sweet. Now, next thing you're gonna do is line up this piece of frame here. Obviously, it needs to sit pretty close to the door where this clasp will slide easily over both sides. I think that's about the right spot right there. You do not want the frame of the door touching the door, but you want it close enough to where critters can't get in and critters can't get out. Now, in full honesty, if you live in an area where there are a lot of chicken snakes or a lot of snakes, I don't know if this would be a good chicken coop as far as security from snakes. And the reason for that is there's just going to be too many gaps. It's not like a stick-built, wooden-built chicken coop where you can seal everything up. Now I'm going to make this as close to even as I can, but I'll show you as we go. There's a gap at the bottom, unless you filled it in with dirt all the way around, or put it on a concrete slab maybe. Plus having these gaps in the doors without something overlapping. I don't know if you've ever dealt with snakes, but they can get in a hole you would think that a snake couldn't get into. They will find a way. Look at that. That's darn near perfect. And I'm getting a little bit of a strike against it right here, so I think I will adjust this. I tried to do it with the hammer, but I might have to loosen it up a little bit. There we go. There we go. That'll work. Got it as tight as I could, because what you're looking at when I'm talking about snakes is there's a gap right here. It's about 1/4 inch, and like I said, you want to get it as close as you can, but these two brackets out here at the bottom will prevent you from getting this real close anyway. I was able to get it closer at the top because there's no bracket right here. Look at this. This is a good 1 inch gap between the hinges here. Now, there is a way to adjust this where you bring the hinges in a little bit. You buckle them in so that you're bringing these closer. And that might be an option to help prevent snakes getting from this hole. But I have to wait and see how much material they give me before I can make any adjustments, because I have to have enough of that material to wrap and enough material for the door. So just as if some of this was at the beginning, we are going to leave it as is. Okay, now this is a pole that's left. It goes across the top right here. Same thing, be 2 bolts, 2 nuts. I'm gonna go ahead and get it started down here before we go up high. Put the bolt through there, through the pipe. One goes on this side. All right, door frame will hold that side for me. Same thing here, through the pipe. Getting a beautiful sunset. Now this, again, is one of them things where you don't want to have too much of a gap. Gaps allow predators in and chickens out. So I'm going to put it about 1 inch from the top of the door frame. About that anyway. It's another place where you're going to have a gap. See these right here, these angled beams at the top of the door. Took a little break again. Frame is complete, like I said. The frame is done. Now we're fixing to put this fence up. Now, this is one of them things, again, where the instructions are not very clear at all. Well, let me show you. That's all the instructions you get for putting the sides and the of the fence on the chicken wire. It shows it going over the top, over the loop. It doesn't even show you how to do the sides really, or how to connect it, but there's wire and zip ties, so we're gonna figure it out. But this is all you get as far as putting the chicken wire fencing and the top on the kennel, on the chicken hutch. So we're gonna give this a shot. But I see issues coming. I'm letting you know before we even do it. I see issues coming. All right, I'm gonna step out of frame for a second. Get this rolled out. Now I'm gonna bring it the distance of the chicken coop and go over the top. Go over the top. Now the goal, hope you can see me, I can't see the camera, I'm pretty far away, is we got to start by fastening this bottom portion down. And that's what we're going to do first. They give us this wonderful bag of zip ties. Now they're really flimsy thin. So this is what they give you. You got to make it work, right? So this is pre-cut to hang over about a 1/2 inch. So I am going to come down here to the bottom and try to get this first zip tie in. See if we can get this bad boy started. There's the first one. One, it would help if they would have cut it straight to start the roll. So we are going to improvise here. That is not tight enough. We're gonna get it a starting point anyway. So I can see where this could be challenging if you've never done something like this before. Knowing how to use zip ties and stretch it in the right angles. Of course, we will use snips and come back and trim all of these zip ties off. So, but I'm starting on one side, about every foot, putting a zip tie. Again, I don't know how many zip ties we got here, if they gave us enough, or if this is one of them deals where a little bit of guesswork. So, fasten this chicken wire, stretch it as best we can. I'm going to take it down here at the bottom. I know you guys can't see this very good, but we're gonna go up a link to make it stretch tight. There we go. That's tight. All right. Gonna do the same thing on the other side. Like that. And then we'll work our way, stretching it as we go down. All right, sorry for the silence. Bugs are starting to come out. It's always a good thing, yay. There. I'm gonna pause this because you're basically gonna see me do the same thing all the way around to the other side. So I'm gonna pause this and we'll pick back up when I get to the other side. All right, we're back for a second. I'm back to this part because what I want to show you is as you're going, you want to constantly be pulling the chicken wire from a further space up to the pole. That's how you get some tension on it. That's how you get tension. Again, we're going to go down here. Actually, a couple pulls down, and we're going to pull that up. What that does is that's putting tension on that wire. As you can see, that is pretty snappy tight. So with that said, next we're going to be working on going all around this top until we get to the middle up here, which will fasten down tight. But the trick is we have to keep it tight as we go, and then it'll work out nicely. We'll be back after I do a little bit more. All right. As you can see, we got the top. Well, it's the left and right side, the top, and we're on to this side. Now, we have to cut the wire off down here at the bottom all the way across. And then once we do that, we'll figure out how to put the back part on, which looks like another challenge because the roll of fence isn't wide enough to go from the top to the bottom of the kennel, the run, in one go. And again, there's no instructions. So I'm gonna finish cutting that off and then we'll be right back and we'll figure out how to do the back side. All right. We've completed the side and the top, all the way around the top, and come down this side here. Sorry, the neighbor's dogs just came out. You're gonna hear them bark. They're cute little dogs, though. They got little floppy ears when they run. All right, I decided to do the front first. My thinking is, I don't know how much fence is here, if they gave me enough. I hope they did, but I would rather get the front side done. That way, if I run out of fencing, I could always put this against our shop or a building in the back, and that would take care of the back itself. So I'm gonna do this front area and the doorway first, knock that out, and then worry about the back with what's left. Hopefully, they did the right thing. They got us enough fence, but we shall see. The hard part with this front is the top has a curved edge. So I'm going to put a couple zip ties in at the top here and kind of work my way down and across, and then we'll zip tie up the round part, and then I'll just snip it at the angle of the roof. Let's see what we got. Take this right to the top. All right, y'all, I'm back out here, changed shirts. Elisa got me a glass of tea again, cooled down a little bit, but we're running out of daylight, so I gotta start busting butt here. So I'm gonna save you guys from being on camera, but I'm gonna get the snips and I'm gonna cut this angle and the excess off this fence here. I'm gonna do the same thing on that side. I'm gonna fill in this gap here and the door. After I get this front done, or to the door at least, I'll be right back and I'll check in with you and let you see how we're progressing. But I'm anticipating no problems, so hopefully this will go fast. We're losing daylight. Well, hello everybody. It's me, the hubby. And we ran out of daylight yesterday. So it's the next day. We're gonna be back at it. We ain't got much to do. It's just the backside fencing, and then we gotta put the roof on. So all this front side's done, the top's done, and the left and the right side are done. So yeah, we'll get started on the back side and put the roof on. We should finish this up fairly quickly today, I hope. I'm not going to bore you with me working on this fence here, but I just wanted to bring you up to speed and where we're at, and we'll be right back. At this point, I did want to point out that I have taken the kennel, the chicken hutch, and flipped it over on its side. It's pretty light, and I'm doing this just to get easier access to the bottom, so I can fasten everything down to the bottom the way it's supposed to be. So that'll make it a lot easier. All right, we got that fastened down on the bottom. So we're gonna flip this back over like that. I'm gonna move it in the shade a little bit. There we go. Now, as you can see, this is what we got. It's looking good. Only thing it's missing is from right about here to the top. This is open. So we gotta fill in this gap right here. We're fixing to do that right now. This is the roof. It's just a waterproof tarp. Probably gonna be hard with the wind, but let me get a few. What they use to put these on are these little rubber band elastic pieces. This is what they are. It's just like most of your dog kennels that you buy from Tractor Supply or Lowe's or Home Depot. A lot of times they use these little elastic cinch straps. So See if I can turn this. See if the door works. Lift the latch up, pull the door out. Inside, outside. That's your lesson for today. Latch that. Looks pretty good, I think. So just let me just tighten up a few things. Put the hen nesting box in there. We'll see what it looks like. Later this afternoon, it'll be moved to where it's going to be set. Probably tomorrow we'll get the chickens and everything set up in there, and then we'll do a final video on the setup and how it looks after complete. So let me do a couple tighten up a few things real quick, and I'll be right back to wrap this up. Well, everybody, there you have it. The chicken coop is finished. It's all secured now. I went around and tightened all the zip ties up, put some extra ones where there might have been some loose areas where something could get in or get out. But this is completed. Door latch works. Open the door. There's our hen nesting boxes in there ready to go. Get some hay, some feed, some bowls. But again, this is not the piece right here on this property. Right here is not where it's going. It's going next door to my daughter's house, and they're going to use this for their chickens. So I have to get some help carry this over there, but this is a complete job. So with that said, I want to thank you for joining me on another Hubby's Handyman Corner. This has been our chicken coop project, and the project before was the nesting boxes. So here we are seeing them both completed and both put together. Now we'll do a follow-up video with the chickens and everything once they're set up. So again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. Those things really help. We need your support. Appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next. Goodbye.